The morning sun had barely risen above the rusty rooftops of Milltown when Ethan Parker began his daily walk to the city square, his battered guitar slung over his shoulder like an old friend who had seen better days. His shoes were torn, his clothes faded, but his eyes, those deep, determined eyes, carried a spark that no hardship could dim. He was only 16, yet life had already tested him in ways most grown men couldn't imagine. Ethan lived in a small trailer on the outskirts of town with his mother, Clara, a woman who worked double shifts at a diner just to keep the lights on. His father had left when he was 8, leaving behind only a broken guitar and a promise, "Son, if you've got music in your heart, you'll never be truly poor." It was that single sentence Ethan carried with him like a prayer. Every weekend, Ethan would sit on the corner near the old fountain and play his heart out. He didn't have fancy equipment, no speakers or stage lights, just his voice, raw and unpolished, and his guitar that buzzed on the high notes. People came and went, tossing a few coins into his open case. Some stopped to listen, most didn't. But Ethan didn't play for money. He played because when he closed his eyes and sang, the world disappeared, and for a few precious minutes, he wasn't the poor boy from the trailer park, he was free. That Saturday morning, the town was unusually crowded. A local fair was happening, and the streets buzzed with laughter and music. Ethan took his usual spot under the lamppost and began to strum the opening chords of Hotel California. His voice, gentle at first, rose with the rhythm, warm, soulful, and hauntingly beautiful. The sound cut through the chatter, drawing heads and hearts alike. A young woman named Lily, a college student visiting from out of town, stopped in her tracks. There was something in Ethan's voice, a story, a sadness, a truth that felt real. She watched as people gathered, phones raised, recording. Ethan's eyes remained closed, lost in the song. When he hit the chorus, even the wind seemed to hush. And for the first time that day, the boy who played for nobody had the whole square listening. When he finished, the crowd erupted into applause. Ethan smiled shyly, bowing slightly. He wasn't used to attention. But that day, he made $37, more than he'd ever earned before. What he didn't know was that Lily had uploaded the video to her social media with the caption, "This boy deserves the world." By nightfall, the clip had gone viral. Recording in a studio felt surreal. The bright lights, the glass panels, the humming of equipment, it was another world. Ethan poured his heart into every lyric, every chord, his voice carrying the weight of every night he'd spent dreaming. When the final note faded, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. The song, Dreams Don't Fade, was released a month later. Within days, it topped streaming charts across the country. People wrote letters, sharing how Ethan's music helped them through depression, loss, or loneliness. His story became a symbol, proof that even when life gives you nothing, your passion can give you everything. But fame didn't change him. Ethan donated half his earnings to help kids from low-income families afford instruments and music lessons. "No kid should give up on their dream just because they're poor," he said in an interview. "I almost did, until someone showed me kindness." A few weeks later, he was invited to perform live at a charity concert in Los Angeles, the biggest stage of his life. As he walked out, lights blinding and thousands cheering, he spotted his mother in the front row, hands pressed over her mouth, tears streaming. He took a deep breath and said into the microphone, "This one's for everyone who's ever been told their dream was too big. I'm proof it's not." When he began to sing, the arena went silent. His voice, pure, emotional, full of life, carried across every heart in the audience. And when he finished, the crowd erupted into a standing ovation that lasted for minutes. Daniel Reynolds, watching from backstage, turned to a journalist and said, "That boy didn't just sing a song. He reminded the world what hope sounds like." After the concert, Ethan found Lily, the girl who had first recorded his performance. He hugged her tightly and said, "You changed my life." She smiled through tears. "No, Ethan. You changed ours." Epilogue, the power of one dream. Years later, Ethan's name became synonymous with inspiration. His foundation, the Dream Alive Project, funded thousands of scholarships for young artists from struggling families. But he never forgot where he came from. Every Christmas Eve, he returned to that same corner in Milltown, the one beneath the lamppost by the old fountain. He would sit down with his weathered guitar, a now framed in gold at home but still his favorite, and play Hotel California. People who recognized him would gather, children sitting on their parents' shoulders, listening in awe. When the final chord rang out, Ethan would smile and say, "Dreams don't come true overnight, but if you never stop believing, someday they will." And as the music faded into the night, people left with their hearts a little fuller, their spirits a little lighter, reminded that kindness, faith, and one boy's voice could indeed change the world. Because in the end, Ethan Parker didn't just prove that dreams come true. He proved that sometimes, all it takes is one song to. 2 days later, Ethan's life began to shift in ways he never could have imagined. His phone, an old, cracked screen relic, buzzed non-stop with notifications he didn't understand. His mother came home from work with tears in her eyes. "Ethan, the whole world's talking about you," she whispered, holding up her phone. The video had reached over 3 million views in less than 48 hours. Comments poured in from around the world, people calling him the voice of hope, the boy with a golden soul, a reminder of why dreams matter. Local news channels arrived at their trailer the next morning. Ethan sat on the edge of their worn-out couch, guitar in hand, trying to make sense of it all. A reporter asked, "Ethan, what do you dream of now that the world knows your name?" He paused for a long moment before replying softly, "I just want to make music that makes people feel less alone." That line aired across every major network, and it struck something deep in people's hearts. Offers began flooding in, from music producers, talk shows, and talent scouts. But amidst the chaos, Ethan remained grounded. He still walked to the square each evening, still played for the same reason he always had, because it felt right. Then one night, something extraordinary happened. A sleek black car pulled up beside him while he played. Out stepped Daniel Reynolds, a famous music producer known for discovering young talent. He listened quietly as Ethan sang an original song titled "Dreams Don't Fade." When Ethan finished, Daniel approached him with a look of awe. "Son," he said, "you've got something rare, not just talent, but truth. How would you like to record that song in a real studio?" Ethan's breath caught. He stammered, "Sir, I can't afford." Daniel smiled. "You don't have to. I'll take care of everything." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes as he realized that for the first time, someone wasn't just listening, they believed in him.